I am live. Saturday night, 10:42 p.m. Thought I would give it a whirl. I saw a video of a man. His wife got pregnant and she breastfed her baby. And this is so, I don't know if it's disgusting or what, but after the baby quit nursing, she kept pumping breast milk, and her husband was drinking it. Yeah. What about that? Now, I guess it's kind of like, I thought a woman she dries up after she quits nursing. But if she keeps pumping breast milk, she's going to keep producing milk. And the entire year after, God, after she quit feeding her baby breast milk, the husband was drinking it. That's weird. That is so weird. The husband was drinking his wife's breast milk. Gee whiz. I never heard of such a thing. Hey, Barbara, how you doing, dear? I see the strangest dang things on videos. On some of them, I don't know if true or not, but that's a weird one. That is weird. Actually, we drink milk, but it's cow's milk. And technically, that is breast milk. I guess you would call it breast milk. It does the same thing that humans do. But I never heard of such a thing. Come on Monday. Monday, my battery charger is supposed to be here. The first thing I'm going to do is charge that scooter up to the max. And Tuesday, I'm going out for a ride. I'm going to start making videos of sorts. How you doing, Barbara? You doing great. I'm doing okay. I need to go to the VA to get a box. They give you a little box with a label and everything on it that puts your hearing aid in and send it off for repairs. But first, I've got to buy a cheapy hearing aid. They're usually around $20, $25, so that I have something that I can hear with while this one's gone off for repairs. And as I recall, You see the back of that? See that little dark spot there? There's a switch that went in there, and it's gone. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with me hearing. Give me some thumbs up, folks. Hearing or not. But my hearing aid's not working right. It's terrible. They may even give me a new one for my left ear. I'm not sure. You know, that's the one I dropped on the floor and run over it with my wheelchair and crushed it. Come on in, you folks on the porch, talk to the Dobber. But yeah, a man drinking his wife's breast milk. Uh, I, is that the same? No, it ain't the same as cow's milk, you idiot. Oh my goodness. I laid down around 4:30 this afternoon and took a nap. I was only planning on napping for about an hour, but that nap turned into uh let's see, 4:35, 3 hours. And of course that's got my night's sleep all screwed up now. So I got up and went and fixed me a bowl of chicken and rice soup, Progresso soup. I don't particularly like their chicken and rice soup. I love the clam chowder, but I don't eat all its clam chowder. But yeah, God, that's weird. I can't get that off my mind. Oh, gee whiz. I, I need to stop looking at so many videos because I'm seeing some strange stuff on there. Some of it's true, I'm sure, and some of it's not. But I learned a lot too from watching a lot of videos. Some that I know is actually true. Uh, I was looking at where'd all my subscribers go. There's only two on there now, Barbara and somebody else. But I got thinking about one time back when I was still driving. I had gotten up early, about 4 o'clock, and it was cold. But I wanted to go check these dumpsters out over at this apartment complex. And I got over there and I was checking. I pull up to a dumpster, get out, go look in the dumpster and stuff. And there's about 5 or 6 dumpsters in that one complex. But I wouldn't turn my van off. You know, I left it running while I checked them. Got and found something, and I found a little bit of stuff that was good for scrap. And I went over to uh, this next complex, and I got up to this first dumpster, and lo and behold, I found a gun, a pistol, a 19, a real old 45 caliber Army issue pistol. And I I was looking at it and I started to pull the trigger just to see that it works. Well, then I thought I better check that thing. And by gosh, it had a fully loaded clip in it and one in the chamber. So if I'd have pulled that trigger, that thing would have fired right there in the middle of the night. So I immediately ejected all the bullets. But that thing, that's the second 45 I found in my dumpster diving days. But this one could have been a disaster if I'd have pulled that trigger. And I learned the hard way about pulling triggers without checking the gun first. I was at the flea market. I was set up, and I forget what I was selling, but I was walking down the aisles before I set mine up, and this guy had a 38 Charter revolver, and he had a good price on it, and I bought it. And I took it back to my booth, put the pistol in the cab of my truck. I had a truck there at the time. And I was sitting there. I got in the truck and I was sitting there looking at it and everything. I never checked to see if it was loaded. That's a big mistake. I always check. I never checked to see if it was loaded. Well, the sucker was loaded. And I was sitting there in the cab of the truck and I pulled the trigger. Boom! That was loud inside that truck. The bullet hit my radio, expensive radio tape player and stuff. Put a hole right through it. And people was looking around and they couldn't tell exactly where the noise come from. And I knew management would come running. And I got out looking around and I said, where was that? Nobody knew. I knew. Management come looking around. And from that day on, that was the day that that flea market banned the selling of firearms of any kind in there. But if I'd been out there in my booth and pulled out, I could have hit somebody. I don't know what the world I was thinking about not checking to see if that thing was loaded. And I'm sure that's how a lot of gun accidents happen. They don't check to see if it's loaded. Or they think they unloaded it and they didn't. But I ever since then I've always had the urge to the check the chamber and check the magazine and stuff. But boy, I tell you what, that was when that thing went off in the cab of that truck, it was loud. I could have had that thing pointed at my leg or something, you know? Crazy. All right, folks, y'all come in here and make some comments. What do you want to talk about? I was talking, in case you didn't hear the beginning there, this man drinks his wife's breast milk after the baby has long since quit nursing. He's drinking his wife. They pump it and he drinks it. Weird, 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 weird. But I just, hey Terry, I'm doing okay, dear. I'm doing okay. I'm waiting anxiously for my battery charger to get here Monday, so I get my scooter charged up and hit the pavement. Um, but I'm doing fine. I'm doing some exercise, and even this here is an exercise they have me do. Shrug my shoulders, and then take and push my arms back and push your shoulder blades together, and you do it 10 times. Then you rest. Then you do it 10 more times. Do 2 sets of 10. You do the same thing with certain foot exercise, and get back in shape if I can. And I'm drinking coffee, and it's what? Oh, it's almost 11 o'clock. I didn't know it was that late. I thought it was around 7 or 8. Well, I knew it couldn't be that because I've been up. I woke up at. I took a 3 hour nap, and I shouldn't have done that. I laid down around 4:35, and I started taking a nap. I only intended to sleep about an hour, but it didn't work out that way. And Jaden, come here a minute, baby. Thank you for the thumbs up. Got 6 on the porch. Y'all get in here and talk to the dauber. Hey, Jay. I want him to come here and say hi to my subscribers. My sick baby. Well, he's not sick now, but he had a major problem with his type 1 diabetes the other day, and they put him in the hospital for a day to get his blood something. What is ketones? Does anybody know what ketones is when you talk about somebody with type 1 diabetes? I don't. I don't. I need to educate myself more about his type of diabetes. I know pretty much a pretty good bit about type 2. Jay, he must have went to bed. He might have. Jay! Yep, he's gone to bed. Oh, well. I can get and say hi to everybody. Um, I got a cat. I was coming through the doorway from the living room to the hall, and I reached up there on the arm of the couch to pull myself along, and this one cat, her name is Ash, she attacked my hand. If I could got hold of her, I'd probably run her neck. But she's on my shit list now. I wish to gosh Jennifer get rid of that cat. I don't like her. I never have liked her. And it wasn't our cat to start with, it was Joey's. And when Joey moved out, he was supposed to take that cat with him. And he didn't. And it's still here. He said the reason he didn't take it because his girlfriend has a cat that she's had 18 years. And he said when it dies, he'll bring Ash over. But she had kittens. She's not fixed. You would think Joey would at least get her fixed. But she had a litter of kittens and they all died. She wasn't producing any milk. Uh, I don't know. Is she that old? Well, she's maybe 5 years old. And this other one that had a litter around Christmas when I was in the hospital, uh, she's she's pregnant again. I don't know why in the world Jennifer hadn't had her fixed. We don't need no more kittens. And from that last litter, we still got 3. And I guess we're stuck with them. Uh, if there was a no-kill shelter somewhere that we could take them to, we would do that with a couple of them. But the only one that I know is a no-kill, they won't take any more cats because they're loaded with cats. So how in the world we wound up with? Let's see, we got 9, 10. We got 12 cats in the house. 12 cats and 1 dog. And 2 of them cats, one of them's a crazy one, Dobber. I feel bad for him. He has something wrong with him. I feel like he needs to be put down, but he's the one that somebody give my wife. My daughter hates it when I give my daughter. There was mowing the yard somewhere, and there was a litter of kittens out there where they were mowing, and they didn't see them, and they run over them, killed all of them but one, and they were nursing. So Jennifer got the cat, and she started bottle feeding that thing from a kitten. But there's something wrong with that cat. He gets seizures occasionally, and he's real bad about chasing his tail. And if he gets hold of it, he draws blood. He's a strange cat, and I feel bad for him. And every once in a while, when I'm coming through it to the living room to the kitchen, if he'd be sitting there and he'd see me, and he'd run and jump up on me in my arms, and I pet him and everything for a little while, and then I put him down. But he jumps on me occasionally, not to hurt me, but he just wants to be cuddled with, you know. I feel so strong about cats and dogs, about how dependent they are on us humans. And us humans' fault that they're dependent. Most dogs would have a hard time making it out on their own. They get out there and they're scrounging for food, and then you see them sitting on the side of the road just skinning bones and all that stuff. And I imagine cats get that way too. And then there's always these sorry people that'll take a cat and the litter and put it in a box and set it out on the side of the road somewhere. How cruel and inhumane that is. especially with a cat that's got a litter of kittens and she's nursing them. Unreal. I ain't got no use for nobody like that. And I got relatives that's like that. Shoot, I had relatives. When this guy died, he'd get tired of a dog. He'd take him up on the hill or somewhere and shoot him and just leave him laying. And one time he did that. I said, "You're not even going to bury him?" And he said, the animals would get him and eat him. Uh, I like that dog. His name was Cleo. I think I've talked about him before. But anyhow, I just want to let everybody know I'm doing okay. I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to stay in the bed at least 12 hours a day, not 12 hours straight, but 5 or 6 hours, and then 4 or 5 hours later, do it again because it helps. Okay, Sherry, thank you for stopping by, dear. Uh, what's the name of your church, Cherry? It ain't none of my business. I'm just curious. Um, but she's got to go. I appreciate you stopping by so much. What was I talking about? I done and forgot. I've been listening to a lot of Glenn Campbell's songs, and he had songs like Rhinestone Cowboy, Gentle on My Mind, um, something, Wichita Lineman, something like that. And he had all he died from all. It's either dementia or Alzheimer's. I don't know what the difference is between dementia and Alzheimer's. Aren't the symptoms about the same? I don't know. I don't know. But I wish some of y'all would comment about that deal where I was talking about the man that's drinking his wife's breast milk after the baby quit nursing. He, they pump it and he drinks it. That's, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. Of course, we drink breast milk from a cow. Johnny Cash story. I've seen that Johnny Cash story, and they leave a lot of important things out on that thing, on Johnny Cash story. They didn't touch on Johnny Cash embezzling. He was he Johnny Cash. He was part of a group called the Tennessee Three, and Marshall Grant was one of them. And Marshall Grant was my wife's first cousin. And Marshall Grant and the other member of the Tennessee Three sued Johnny Cash because he was supposed to be keeping up, putting money back for retirement fund on all three of them. And he wound up spending a lot of that money. It's back when he was drinking real heavy and everything before he married Jean Carter. But I've met Johnny Cash. I've met Jean Carter. My wife's first cousin, his daddy died, and Johnny and June came to his funeral. His name was Dill Brown. And but I met they come up to the house. Barbara said, "Nasty yuck." I don't know what in the world that. That must be an odd couple. Must be an odd couple. I hope I can sleep. I'll probably have to set up late. But anyhow, it don't leave. It don't touch on some things that happened uh, in with his life and everything. Of course, he straightened out. He was a good guy, but he did take money, and they sued him, and he paid them back. I think he paid him back long about the time he had that TV show. And he come on and said, "Hi, I'm Johnny Cash." And I like Johnny Cash, a lot of his songs and stuff. Sure did. Uh, and I like Glenn Campbell's song. Glenn Campbell was in a Western movie, and I can't remember who it was with. I think it was with John Wayne. I'm not sure. But I remember when Glenn Campbell started getting Alzheimer's and it slowly progressed. And, he was a great guitarist. He could play a guitar like nobody's business. And his daughter was talking about how as it progressed, he started missing notes and stuff on there and everything. That's a terrible, terrible way for somebody to go. You lose the person, not bodily, but mentally, memories and stuff like that. Just like my mother-in-law had Alzheimer's. And it was so sad. And me and her had a lot of good rapport and everything over the years. And the last thing that she said to me that made sense was I was coming through the house. We just got there. And I looked over her and she's sitting in the wheelchair. And I said, "Hey, Ma." And she looked at me and she smiled. "Oh, are you still around?" So she remembered me, just fleetingly, she remembered me. But after that, never again. And she dipped snuff. And there come a point where my sister-in-law had to take her snuff away from her because she was eating it. Um, Marty Robbins, I love Marty Robbins too. I went to one of his shows one day in person. They wasn't calling it concerts back then. But that man, Marty Robbins, put on a tremendous show. And lots of times, he'd be getting towards the end and he said, "Well, I don't want to go." And he'd start doing music again. And he'd probably run another hour. And it didn't cost much. Where did I see him at? It was at King's Dominion in Richmond, Virginia. And I seen a lot of country music stars at King's Dominion. I seen Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers there. I seen Charlie McLean, who I thought was the guy till she popped on stage. And Charlie McLean was was a lady, and a beautiful lady, and I loved her music. Janie Fricky. Janie Fricky was another absolute favorite of mine. Linda Ronstadt was a favorite of mine. Uh, 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 I'll never seen your mama. Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton. And I love that album they put out called The Trio. They had some beautiful songs on it, them three did. And it was so sad when something happened to Linda Ronstadt and she had to quit singing. She lost her voice. She could talk, but she lost her. Cannot stand Willie Nelson. You know, I don't like Willie Nelson, but he wrote some songs. Uh, and I can't recall the name of them, but he wrote some songs. I didn't particularly like Willie Nelson. Now I like Waylon Jennings. I like Merle Haggard. I like Porter Wagner, especially when he was singing duets with Dolly Parton back in the day. Uh, Kitty Wells, that was an old lady. She's been years ago. Kitty Wells. Uh, but there's so many of them and uh, Conway Twitty, I like. Loretta Lynn, she was okay, but I didn't particularly. I wouldn't go buy a record from her. I would listen to some of her songs if it was Coal Miner's Daughter. I like that. Cannot stand when Kenny Rogers and Dolly. Yeah, Kenny Rogers, I liked him. And Islands in the Stream that him and Dolly sang together. Patsy Cline, I never listened to her much. It's sad the way she died. And she was a close friend of Loretta Lynn. Uh, and uh, and of course, I liked Elvis Presley. You know, seen him in person doing a show once in 1957, and I met him in person in Germany in the army at the tail end of his career. He was fixing to go home the next month or two. Talked to Elvis, made a fool out of myself, asking him if he remembered me from when I sat on the front row at the Carolina Theater in 1957 in Winston-Salem. You stupid idiot! Oh, that was so stupid. Uh, Home Free, they're a great group. I'll have to look them up. I'll have to look them up. There's a group that was called the Inspirations. They was a gospel group. And they lived in Bryson City. That's one of the first towns me and my wife ever lived in. And Bryson City, they were in high school and they laws. And his name was Jack Laws, and he worked at Swain Grocery Store. That was in Swain County there. And you always seen him coming out of the store with this big white apron on and just whistling and singing to himself, you know. And I met him several times. Matter of fact, I met all of that group. One of them's name was Archie. I can't remember the name. I don't know if they're still going or not. But it was called The Inspirations. And some of the songs they sang was touring that city and sing your moment. But they were great, and they become major gospel singers. I don't know now. I might look them up on the internet and see if they can find out what they're doing. I know that's not the original people on there, and Jack Laws died. Funny thing about Jack Laws, he had this sister, uh, Pat Laws, Patricia, and she went to Jack Law's house and was trying to get in, and she came in. She claimed she lost the key, and would I help her crawl in the window? And like a fool, I did. Well, he had a restraining order against her. I didn't know that. She wasn't living with him. And she got busted with that, and they couldn't figure out how she climbed in that window. Because it was up high. And she told them, I helped her get in. And I didn't get arrested for it, but boy, they was ticked at me. I said, well, I thought she lived there. I knew Jack Laws lived there, and it was his sister, but I didn't know they were estranged, you know. But they kind of put me in jail for that, for aiding and abetting or something like that. I'm going to have to look that group up, Home Free. What about that? Anyhow, I just wanted to chime in because I hadn't made a video yet. Let y'all know what's going on. I'm supposed to get my charger Monday. It may be as late as Tuesday. I hope not. And I'm getting that special hat that the camera mounts on the bill. Because this one here, I've got one that does that. But the thing about it, let me show you. Let me show you. This one mounts on there. As you can see, but it's up too high. It weights the hat down, it goes down like that. And the one that I got coming, it's got a mount directly right on the bill of the hat towards the back of it there. And it doesn't weight your hat down. Can't wait to get that. Also, I've got to have another sip of coffee. If I had to tell you my most favorite female singers, my number one most favorite is not who you would think. It is Janie Frick. Love that woman. But all the female country singers that I like, they're all right there in one group. I like them pretty much all the same. But Janie Fricky is my favorite singer. I wish I could play some of her music on my videos, but they want a small fortune to get the rights to do that. If I was wealthy, I'd put a lot of popular music on my videos, but I'm not wealthy. Uh, Actually, I think it's in there. I hadn't personally looked. Donovan's going to work. But who is Joan? Barbara. Who is Joan? Look at to tell me who Joan is. I need to thank her, whoever she is. I wish I had a bowl of clam chowder too. Barb J. Everett. That's you? What the heck? Thank you so much. Okay. uh, when Don gets home in the morning, I'll get him to put in there and show me and tell him to leave it there till I'm ready to spend it. Um, I may buy dog food. Yeah, I need to start getting bigger bags. What I've been getting is hold on a minute. Oh. I've been getting these 3.5 pound bags like this. This lasts her about 2 weeks, and it's pedigree. And matter of fact, I just bought this bag here with some of my Barbara Everett money. Uh, I need to start getting bigger bags because you get a bigger volume for your money when you buy the bigger bags. And if I run out, he'll go in there and start eating cat food, and he doesn't digest cat food very well. And Jennifer don't like him eating the cat food. But man, they're going through some cat food and cat litter in there. Matter of fact, when I get done here, I'm gonna go in there and pick up the poop out of the cat litter box. What the hell did I drop my camera? But at any rate, guys, I don't have many of you, but I appreciate the few that I do have. And hopefully, if I can start doing, I've been paying attention to how people's making their videos and stuff. And I don't do these right. Uh, but the way they make them, like if I'm going out on my scooter, I need a video taking a picture of me going out on my scooter onto the road. I need to take pictures of me going down the road. But to do that, you got to have somebody else to do that. And it takes, in other words, you sit. Well, that don't. It just don't. So right now, all I've got to offer is sitting here running my mouth and telling stories. And boy, if I got a doozy of a story to tell, uh, about my mama and daddy. And back in about 1947. Well, I won't get into it, but that's the year it was. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Uh, oh, I got another silly boy. Anyhow, ain't many people coming on tonight. Well, it's Saturday night. That's not a good night for me to do a live stream. But oh my goodness. Okay. This is crazy. I don't know. Oh. Oh Lord. All right, folks. That's my story today, and I'm sticking to it. Ain't much of a story, but I got a nice one I'm gonna tell you tomorrow, which is Sunday. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I remember that so well now. All right. I'll see you in the next one. See ya. I can't help. Oh my goodness.